All right. Happy Monday, everybody. Jason Woodard here. I figured I would record kind of an interesting video. As you know, the people who have it the hardest are middle Americans, right? And I say that because if I was to take someone wealthier and they took 200 grand and put it into some sort of investment account, they're going to, due to interest accruing, make a lot more money than somebody who, let's say, doesn't have a lot to save every month. So this past weekend on Saturday, I had the pleasure of working with a client and helping him set up with a tax-free savings plan. Now, one of the unique things about this savings plan is that it's designed for middle Americans because of the fact that you don't have to worry about losing money in the market. Now, why are we seeing a big push for annuities? Why is everybody talking about it? Well, very simple, and I'll try not to make this video too long, but there's anytime that we have an election coming up, anytime that the fear-mongering media starts talking about recessions or housing crises, the one thing that always ticks up is life insurance companies going, hey, did you forget about us? You know, during the market ups and everything's going great in the market, people want to invest all their money in the stock market. But as soon as there's a little bit of trouble, we get to stand up and say, hey, you're safe money experts over here. We want to remind you that the losses you're about to incur from those gains, say you gain 20% hypothetically, that 10% half that you're about to lose, had you invested over here, you wouldn't have had to lose anything. Now, that is a very bold statement, but it just so happens to be true, and the money happens to grow tax-free through IRC 7702B, Internal Revenue Code 7702B. You can read up on that just to make sure you understand that. How does money grow tax-free through life insurance products? But what I want to talk about, my little notes here, which is, a true story too. A hospital worker, who was a janitor, by the way, saved up $300,000, working 43 years, right? And this was actually local in Jacksonville here at Orange Park Medical, had like $320,000 at retirement. Now, this was somebody we worked with years ago. So how did that happen? Could he have saved more? Yes. Give you an example. If I called my advisor right now and said, hey, I want to give you $100, and then he goes, Jason, the economy's doing pretty bad right now, or it could be scary right now, and I say, that's all right, I just want to give you the $100. Now next week he calls me and says, the market crashed 50%, and then he calls me back again later on in the day and goes, don't worry, it came back. The truth is I still lost 25 grand if you can follow that math. So our hospital worker, it's safe to say, had many conversations like that over the years. He had some ups, he had some downs. Every time he had a down, he had to make more than 100% return in order to get back what he had lost. Maybe it's $1.25, maybe it's 150% returns. But that's a big thing to accomplish consistently over a 30-year investment cycle. So he ended up with about 320. Could he add about $500,000 had he not had any losses? Probably, and that's where the strength of insurance products and annuities come in. And so I'll use as an example in comparison to my hospital worker, real life scenario, real life client. I get people all the time that say, Jason, how do I get the advantages of life insurance products without having to buy life insurance? And guess what? Even though I'm a life insurance broker, I can tell you how to do that too. And it's through the right types of annuities and knowing which companies to use. And a lot of times, even when you want to move money around and you got to pay a penalty, they'll give you front-end bonuses to offset those losses. So let me tell you what we did. For middle Americans, what's your biggest problem? Well, your biggest problem is, hey, Jason, I get it. I've heard of this stuff before, but I don't have 5 grand. I don't have 3,000 to start the account, right? Got it. So what do? You do a Roth IRA where it's the exact opposite. You don't need as much to open it, but they tell you can only put so much in. And now you're capped, even if you get in on how much you can invest. So what if you could get in for as little as $100? Did you know there's annuities out there, proprietary to helping middle-class people who say, you know what, I can only get in for $100. And a lot of people say, well, $100, if I was to invest $100, that's never going to make me rich. Actually, it's funny. You say that because you're taking into account all of the losses people have incurred over the last 10 years, right? So if I put in 100, I lose 20. Put in 100, I lose 10. Put in 100, I lose 8. Put in 100, I lose nothing. the thing is, over time, those negative years average out over a 10-year period to some serious losses. What if you could get rid of the losses, put $100 a month in there, to where you're guaranteeing you're putting in $1,200 a month a year, or $1,200 a year annually, $100 a month, with no losses? Did you know that at retirement, with only a 25-year investment span, the numbers we kick back in our illustration for our client at a conservative 6.25%, right? We're not going too high, we're going conservative in the 6% range, yielded him over $250,000 in non-qualified money at retirement that he can use as he needs at that point in time. Now, if you ask me, that's a very short window to come up with that amount of time compared to the 45 years or whatever the janitor had when he was having to deal with the losses and coming back from all those losses. So if anybody out there, if you feel a little hopeless, if you feel like, you know what, maybe there's no way for me to save, you can supercharge your savings plan by simply getting rid of the losses and getting in the right vehicle. And if you're not quite wealthy, you can even afford to do it for as little as $100. So I hope that gets some of you excited out there, because savings is very important, and saving the right way is very important, and avoiding those taxes. So hope you guys have a great day. Happy Monday to you. Bye-bye.